of winter and the beauty of winter, how it literally drives us, how it literally guides us, how we literally find ourselves walking into our flats, into our homes, and starting little fires to keep us warm. In the winters of the people that have literally been, let's say, you could say, born, they were conceived in the wintertime, so many. And sometimes so many with the snow falling so quietly outside, and to be conceived like a snowflake, so quietly falling very gently from way, way up, starting in the sky. And just one beautiful snowflake, well designed it is. And no doubt when you look at a snowflake, you can literally see the intelligence of it and the design that it is. An architect, no doubt an architect definitely designed it. An architect with a sight of not just beauty, but an architect of kindness too in it. And that one simple snowflake coming down to be conceived. And that young man and that young woman have no idea literally what they have done to literally start life in the winter time. And somewhere down the line in the summertime, maybe even touching the fall for that little child to come out into the second lifetime out of the womb of their mother. So much time spent, you could say, underneath the covers, underneath the beautiful warm covers of the belly of a mother. But most of us do not pay any attention or really what it is to be conceived. We just find ourselves with our keys to our car, with our televisions, going to work, and wondering what things had yet to be done. How easily we can find ourselves so consumed in our busy life. And we are not the only ones. So many generations have done exactly the same thing that we have, the adult world, of not just paying the bills, but putting the food on the tables, and just keeping not just the economy, but keeping the idea of the family going. Hoping that the children that they leave well, that their wings are spread so well that they fly high and become more successful, more kind, more attentive, better business people, better parents, and eventually grandmother and grandfather too. And generation after generation after generation, and the business people and the businessmen and the businesswomen have been actually literally traveling, not down just the Silk Road in the Far East, but we have bartered through so many different kinds of people and countries for so very long. And there was no problem. We had no automobiles then. We had no jets to fly, no big ships with big engines to take us clear across the seas. We walked, literally walked. And those that had horses and camels, and good for you, and how they carried the weight so. A good friend, you could say. But how countless millions of people had walked for so very long, and most of them, most of their lives, not just to acquire water to drink or to wash themselves, but to walk, to barter, to see what has been brought in from other worlds and other countries. Like what we do when we go down some busy street with so many large, beautiful windows, such beautiful windows we have today, and to be able to look through these windows and to see all kinds of beautiful colors of clothes, so many shoes and jackets, and even spectacles to buy. Very clever architects it is. And some you can see the beauty that is in their mind to design. Not just to put over our eyes so we can see afar or to see close, but to be able to put such beautiful clothes around our beautiful bodies. Sometimes to show off, sometimes to feel good, and sometimes just to simply keep us warm in the winter time. And yet all it took was just that one beautiful snowflake to fall from the sky so far up above. And most adults don't even think of this anymore. For all that exists is what's right in front of them and what they possess and what they own. And as long as they keep everything going, that's all that exists. And yet that little child being conceived very, very slowly, adding brick by brick, biological cell by biological cell, dividing into 4 and 8 and 16 and 32 and 64 and on, and growing so quickly. For it is each of you that have found yourself in a world of phenomenon, to be so small to be conceived, and the spirit that literally lies inside, deep inside your chest, that little tiny sun, a very, very tiny little sun, much smaller than an atom itself, much smaller than an electron. And there you are, you find yourself conceived, and so lightly and so okay you were with yourself. But whatever sent you down here to this beautiful planet, that is between you and what is giving you your light. And here you find yourself in a phenomenon of growth, growing millimeter by millimeter, but so fast you are. And you got to, without any intent or any wish, you watch yourself being put together brick by brick, biological cell by biological cell, and pretty soon you find yourself with bones, even little fingers and toes, and with a beating heart, a very strange, unusual little tiny brain, so fragile it is, has not even seen the light of the sun, not even the moon or the stars above at night. You don't have the labels of trains, of pencils, and not even of any colors whatsoever. You are conceived without fear and doubt. And one moment in the belly of your mother, such a beautiful, beautiful blanket it is. And there you are in the winter time, not knowing where you are or where you're going to go. Not having any idea what's it going to be like 64 years from that moment. And where you're going to be, not thinking of any flag or any country or taxes to pay or what there is to do. The agendas that so many of us have from morning till night. Some that taunt us and literally ties up in knots. And some so beautiful to do, like go shopping. And yet that little one has no idea of the farmers. The beautiful, beautiful farmers that are all over this planet. So simple they are. That little one has no idea who is the most important people on the planet. It is not the doctors. It is not the politicians. They are the farmers, the most important people on the planet. And yet that little one does not have to go to work. No time card, no driver's license either. For everything is given to that little one, bled and fed by the umbilical cord, literally coming in, feeding its little tiny veins. And yet there's no hunger inside that little one. There are no wants and no desires, but nothing but curiosity, what is outside the covers of this belly. Usually and almost forgetting what was it like to be a little snowflake falling from the sky. Not having any idea of what gravity is all about. Have no experience of gravity whatsoever and what it feels like. For like some astronauts in a suit so weightless it is, this little one in the belly of a mother, wrapped up in the skin of someone that love and no music, no script, no poem can write about. And I really wonder who comes first. Is it the male or the female? Is it the one that is dominant and bigger and stronger with testosterone, with muscles that can whip and kill? Or is it the one that can speak softly and that have the eyes of a Marco Polo that can see afar and yet see so close? I wonder who comes first. And yet the stars above, so far above our heads. And so many clouds come about. And yet so many things on the ground, on the floor, on the earth, on the path, on the walkway, on cement and asphalt too. It takes our attention away to literally pay attention to literally what is above our heads. A whole vast universe. There it is. All the questions that we ask, the answers are there. And there it is beneath our feet. And yet we find ourselves in between a world, in between this planet, and here there's this vastness in this universe above our heads. And yet we find ourselves still fighting and arguing, and still trying to get more, and still trying to achieve more, and still try to possess more of this and that. And yet all along the farmers, the most important people on the planet, are keeping our bellies full. But if they stop, if they say no more, you would see what would happen to this planet within 2 weeks if the food stopped. We, as a creature and as a species, we can go almost a good month without water. We can endure so much. But once the hunger starts to set in, how easily we find ourselves so fragile, difficult to walk, even to the kitchen. There's so many people about walking on the sidewalks. And so many people know how to drive cars and what pays to keep the car. The signals of stoplights and stop signs, they work pretty well. And yet every now and then we find ourselves amiss getting a ticket by a policeman. And somehow we missed the signal. And yet we're still looking for a signal inside that can make sense of our lives. Not just of all the days that we have lived, but all the weeks and months and years and decades that we have accumulated, and they have literally ascended upon us so quickly, so quickly. These decades come. But do we really contemplate it and think about it? One day they have to stop. We find ourselves in a world of two big, beautiful doors. The most beautiful doors that can be given to any biological creature, whether that is spider, ant, or fish, or bird. And that is the door to be conceived and the door to pass away. But we don't pay any attention to these doors until we are forced to come upon it. To understand really what it is to knock on these doors and to wonder what is on the other side and where in the world we came from. We have our noses right in front of our face. And no matter where we go, the nose seems to follow as well as our toes too. And we can easily find ourselves making other decisions to veer to the left or veer to the right. And because some have the passion, the most beautiful passion, to walk away from behaviors and to dive into the science, instead of veering to the left and veering to the right, they dare to veer straight up into outer space. And those that has given us the flight, the aerial flight of beautiful planes and jets, so we can fly like the birds, like sometimes we fly at night in our dreams. Who are we? Who are we with these two big, beautiful doors? And society does not teach us to really pay any attention to these two big, beautiful doors that affect every biological creature on the planet. And maybe that is what prayer is supposed to do. Maybe that is what a mantra is supposed to do. Maybe that is what it is to contemplate, to keep our minds so still as literally to find that little snowflake that was always there, that no sun could melt, no heat, no matter what degree, could melt. And yet we find it sometimes in the eyes of our children. And yet we can find it sometimes in the eye of someone like a grandma who really loves their life. And sometimes we can see it in a sunset. And sometimes we can even feel it in the tears that we can cry with. Not of sorrow, but of joy. And sometimes it seems to blend when we go for a simple walk. And whether it is a dense field of so many trees, or we find ourselves in a vast desert, not even a hill to be seen. And then it is only then, like we can in the middle of the nights, in the deep dreams of our night, that we can truly find ourselves alone. It is only then that we can literally see and contemplate the two big, beautiful doors and the fourth door that has literally given us our life. And yes, we can find ourselves with high IQs, a great deal of memory to literally understand so many things, not only of science, but how the wires, how they literally conduct so much electricity, and we can break it down by voltage and amperes. And we have literally brought in beautiful lights, but who brought it in? Not you and not me. Only a few individuals had the incentive and had the passion to walk away from the grief, to walk away from complacency, and gave us the toilets and lights, gave us engines of automobiles and jets, has given us beautiful trains, much better clothes of warmth, has given us glasses to hold our waters and drinks, has given us even cell phones, so clever they are. And yet we have found out in the dew of time, we have seen how the economy has literally taken so many quantum leaps of jumps of up and down. And yet our home is our home, and our beautiful beds is our beautiful beds, and really what can replace that? And sometimes we just want to replace ourselves because we got all tied up in too much confusion. Maybe we got fired from a job. Maybe we find ourselves a little bit lost in an alley and wondered how in the world we got here. So many young ones in the outskirts of big metropolises all throughout this world that have found themselves walking away from their country because their countries do not operate so well, to go out and look for better jobs and to send home this money back home to their mother and father and brothers and sisters. And they find themselves outcast because their color is not the same and their language is not the same. And the doors of immigration have somehow caused so much trouble. And yet we all know it's a beautiful thing, for that is what literally makes the world. And yet each one, whether it's an immigrant or you're literally born of your own country, they were all snowflakes at one time. And when you see a vast land of so much snow, a good meter deep, covering the land, making it white, and you just literally see the purity of it. For that is literally the purity of humanity. For we all have that little sun inside, but actually it's like a little snowflake. For no one can be like you. No brother, no sister, no lover too. And like all snowflakes, they find themselves meter by meter growing so exponentially, so fast, that you find yourself at the age of 5 and you want to be 6 so quickly because you want to be like your big brother or big sister. And you want to reach the height to have your car and drive around. And then one day we find ourselves on some Autobahn, traveling, spending an hour to go home. And we have been doing this for years and years and years. There isn't that excitement so much as it was at the age of 5. What kind of a world have we walked ourselves into? And what is it that we live for? Is it for that gold watch at the age of 20 years? Or is it literally to find peace? To upturn every stone, every pebble, to look behind every flower, to literally look into every thought and dive into all the feelings to see what depth each one carries and what lies inside. And to see who is the maker of all of this. Who is the architect that put a floating big ball, a planet, and actually just nothing but a big bus. And we are all in this big bus traveling through space, 476,000 miles through space. And none of us care where this planet is headed to. We don't even think how it literally rotates on its own axis, around and around and around and around it goes, as long as we get to work on time. And yet we have been given the eyes and the sight to literally see with telescopic eyes and microscopic eyes too, to see so close and yet to see afar. And yet we find ourselves so magical as wanting even to save trees and to produce more trees that we can carry enough even for the little fishes in little lakes and rivers too. Do we find ourselves as the caretakers of this planet that is going around and around and around, and has literally shown so many, many winters, so many snowflakes have fallen on this planet. And millions of species have walked the planet for so long, and so many have disappeared. And here we find ourselves so bountiful and so abound, with so many new ones too, like new ideas emerging so daily, as new periodicals, new discoveries, new ideas, new ways to look at this and that. And we still wonder, why in the world don't we have the joy and the happiness from morning till night? What is it that we have lost? What is it that we had in our hands at one time and somehow it got lost? Was it a word? Was it a friend? Was it your first love? Was it the brightness of a thought and a feeling that easily eluded us? Maybe it disappeared in the middle of a night. Who are we? And yet I must ask, and I know the animals must ask that too every now and then. And the little fishes of lakes and oceans too, they hurt too. They have loneliness too. And in a sense, they also can cry too. They have their favorite friend too, and they have their fears and doubts too. But like us, as we call ourselves human beings, we were conceived and born without fear and doubt. Who taught us to fear? Who taught us to doubt? Who taught us to be suspicious not only of ourselves but others? What teacher gave this to us? Was it the silent passage of words and sight of a little blink of an eye of some teacher near the blackboard with just very simple words? Or is it in the air, a vast bubble, literally consumed that little house, that little neighborhood, that little village, that big city? Who are we? Be wise with your life. There's so much more brain capacity, so much more thought capacity than what we can ever imagine. Ask profound questions, but seek no answers. And continuously ask very simple, profound questions, but don't seek an answer. For no one really taught us how to literally ask questions and what questions really are. We have so many answers abound to us. We have so many answers in books. There's so many libraries all over the world. We can even draw most of the libraries in our bedrooms, in our offices, and homes. So all that information's there. There it is on your screen. But it hasn't helped us to be any more kind or softer or loving than who we were yesterday. But to get out, to literally find ourselves walking out of the hypnosis of what the society is, getting that hammer and constantly hitting that same nail over and over with consistency, with that question, very simple questions, without seeking an answer. That you dive deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper down into that brain of yours. That it starts to literally penetrate all the conditioning and all those thoughts that taunt us and hurt us, and all the beautiful thoughts too. Just keep hammering with that beautiful question. So simple these questions are. And like a prayer, and like a breath, whether that be inhale or exhale, but by paying attention to the peaks and the lows of our breath, and with the magic of your heart and the magic of your mind, you can literally transcend the paradox of life. We have linear streets. We read linear from left to right, and some people from right to left. We only can say one word at a time. We only can literally consume and think and grab and digest one thought at a time. And yet there's tens of thousands of thoughts running through our heads. But like bingo, we can only pick that one ball and digest it. Well, so many have literally passed our sight. We have such beautiful organs inside our body. All different countries, you could say, operating very differently, designed to give us the life that we have. We have such a beautiful, complex, and yet a simple mind with very, very tender brains inside that are as ancient as the dinosaurs, no doubt. That the primordial existence that lies about that we cannot find, but we do know exists, there it is lying inside of you. Who are we? Ask. And with your heavy head on your pillow at night, the streets are quiet, the night is calm. and how the beauty of the night, how it literally closes in on you. The sun is on the other side of the planet, so dark it is. How easy it is now to hear our thumping heart. It is like literally getting undressed inside our own heads and hearts to really see what is it that we feel and think. It is time to deal with ourselves. And hopefully the next day we are brighter with it. Where are you headed to in this planet in outer space? Where are you going? It is only you that can ask that question. An adventure, no doubt. But the real adventure is inside your own heart. For we can only walk so many kilometers. We can only live so many days of the calendar. Who are you? Remove the labels of the sun and moon. It is just not to get tanned in the middle of the day and not just feel the heat, even though it may be winter. But what light has done for you. To take you out of the cave and look what it's done for you. But do not forget the night. Do not forget the moonlight. For all your thoughts and feelings from head to toe are no doubt very different. Sometimes romantic, sometimes poetic, and sometimes so mysterious. You wonder about the maker, the architect of this universe. Who are you? Yo ho ho. Yo ho ho. Yo! Ho, ho. Naete ha ha. Peace to your mind. Nete. Peace to your heart. Nese. Peace to your life. You were born with your mind, your heart, and your life. You were conceived with your mind, your heart, and your life. And you will leave this planet only with your mind, your heart, and your life. So take good care of it. Let's dance.